Alright kids, it's Ampillion again, and I'm taking a little bit of break from the whole Minecrafting thing, preparing for the next video, and running into a bunch of bugs, so I figured I'd bring you this game I was going to play a while back. It's some kind of weird pinball thing with numbers. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, Super Bundamada. Yes, I probably should be pushing start. So, I have no idea. Again, I don't speak Japanese at all. So, I'm gonna assume that my name means like Yoshi Fishtaco. And it's important you name your character correctly here because it really does affect your future in the world of the pinball-y thing game. This is the male-female option, which is also very important because, well, you play the role of, well, Yoshi Fishtaco, for me that is. And it's apparently 9 o'clock in the morning, and my alarm clock is about the most annoying thing ever made. So, Yoshi Fishtaco here wakes up, and there's an interesting story involved about, well, I assume it has something to do with being a total loser, not having any other furniture in your apartment. You have a meager kitchen, but you don't even have a TV or a bathroom or anything involving, you know, a normal life. So you better get out there and do something about it by playing the odd pinball game that you love to play so much. And this love is shown by the fact that the only other room in our apartment is, yes, filled with odd pinball type things. Alright, so it's actually called Pachinko, but I kind of pretend for the hell of it. Pachinko is essentially sort of like the American slot machine. It's generally a gambling device. They aren't too complex in the rules, more or less, the way they work. Once I get to a screen, I'll kind of explain more about it. But it's essentially, if you've ever seen Price is Right, the Pachinko game, it's kind of like that. You're just shooting little balls down through pegs and hitting all sorts of little random things. You'll notice we need to leave our house to go sate our desires to play Pachinko. And apparently it only takes 15 minutes to get here. It took us a whole hour, actually, for some odd reason. Anyway, the options here, you can buy balls direct from the vendors here. I have no idea what the second option does, other than get yelled at. And then you can buy this here, lets you actually buy some of the Pachinko machines for your little collection back at the house. Which is, I mean, it's a cool little collection part of the thing. I mean, if it was just all about playing these little machines, the game might get a little boring. And it's not really an exciting, fun-filled game anyway, but it's something you can have going in the background, and it's pretty interesting just to have and watch and, you know, not really focus on too much. But I also showed off there's the options there in that menu that lets you actually view the amount of money or the amount of balls that have been put through the machine today. The X button here brings up the long-winded tale about how this particular Pachinko machine works. It's, again, not as complex as the X button I keep hitting shows it to be. Generally, if it has numbers on it, you want to get 3s or 7s to get scoring combinations, and that'll usually trigger something on the machine to open up and lets you shoot into it. Like this particular machine here, you want to get it into those little zones marked 1 down there at the bottom, and once you do, the little flaps open up there in the middle and open up for the device in the middle, which will activate that slot machine part right there. So essentially what you want to do is aim your shot stream towards the area where you can activate both those things, such as right where I've got it. The Y button lets you put that little brown coin looking thing in the slot down there in the bottom right. Essentially, if you just leave your stream of balls shooting in one direction for too long without that in the place, the machine will eventually kind of cool down, or it'll eventually tone down the aim, and it'll eventually kind of kick back, and you'll slowly kind of lose power on your shots. With that in place, it kind of locks it into position to fire at a specific point over and over again. So, I mean, once you've found the sweet spot where you want to hit the ball, shoot the balls at, you pretty much just hit Y and leave it. The A button will let you add more balls. B button is what lets you exit the machine. Every table has different rules. This is one of my particular favorites. Essentially, what you need to do is hit the balls into the left little zone there, that little tubular zone, which will open that pincer in the middle. And then you have to hit balls into that, which will then have to go down the moving, like, chute in the middle. If it makes it through the chute, it then goes down towards the bottom region, where that little number in the middle will change. And again, if you get a 3 or 7, you will usually open up a bonus, and the bonuses will allow you to shoot balls into the yellow go zone on the right. And when a ball goes into that, then the device on the far lower right corner will open up and will allow you to shoot balls in it for, I believe it's 15 balls per ball that goes in. Essentially, if I'm to recall correctly, gambling in Japan, you can't do so by direct dollars and cents type means. You have to do it through an exchange. Like, that's one of those loophole type things where they're essentially selling you a bunch of balls, and you're using the balls as the currency in the game, and then you're exchanging the balls back in for actual money afterwards. So, essentially, you'll be carrying around buckets full of these little pinballs, and you'll stick them into machines to play this particularly odd game that's very noisy. This particular game, I want to say, has like 31 different machines. I've never really sat down and played it long enough to unlock all the machines, nor have I gotten them all in the collection. But essentially, it works like a lot of other Super Nintendo gambling games did. Depending on how much your total cash in is, kind of unlocks like higher stake, more classier joints for you to play this odd game in. I kind of show off a few of the tables I can right here at the beginning, just to kind of emphasize how each different machine, or each machine is different, but most of them are similar in certain ways. Most of them, again, usually require you to hit the balls into a specific area or to activate another area. This one is this is one of my least favorite ones. You essentially have to hit it in the top area. It spins around and goes in the center, and that usually doesn't happen, and you usually lose all your money, so I usually leave that machine. Then, essentially, once you're done, you can say, hey, I'm out, go back home. Yeah, I do stop and show off all the tables here at this particular joint first, though. You'll notice that there are a lot of machines like this one in particular. This one, if you hit balls into the green go right there in the very center, it'll activate a slot machine reel right there in the middle. And you can accrue about 5 total spins at a time. You'll have one going, and then the 4 little lights above the machine, above the wheel, will light up, signifying you've got stored spins, like that one there. Again, this game isn't something you can just sit around and play. I mean, I honestly only do turn this thing on whenever I'm kind of just, vegetating a bit, maybe watching videos, other Let's Plays, surfing the internet, that kind of stuff. It's not something you actively, do anything to. You pretty much set that little shot stream at a particular location on the field, and then you let it shoot. You get lucky, sometimes you don't. And then you go back home, and Yoshi Fishtaco decides to take a nap and asks if you want to save. Again, 9 o'clock in the morning. First thing you do, yep, let's go out and gamble. Very bizarre. I don't know. So I go and check out some other locations. Essentially, your goal in this game is like most other Super Nintendo era type gambling games, is to get a lot of money and move up to larger locations. Like I said, this is the one-off play. I'm not gonna sit here and show you exactly every single table. If you're really all that interested, you can easily find this on the internet. Just stick it into your, local ZSNES emulator and give it a go. Again, I like it just for... There's some music. There's some nice music sometimes. I would say it does get a little bit irritating after a while, so I would definitely hit mute and go about doing something else. But, I mean, it's definitely something worth just kind of sitting in the background, watching. There's actually a surprising large amount of Pachinko machines, especially for the Super Nintendo. I wouldn't say that they're all terribly easy to negotiate through as far as menus go. This one's actually pretty simple. I mean, once you figure out, especially if you don't speak Japanese, once you figure out that you can just walk up the machine and hit A, and then hit A again to start putting balls into it, I mean, it's literally pretty easy to start up playing this game. Whether you not want to, that's up to you. Me, I mean, I'm always down for something. I play fishing games, so Pachinko is something that, well, alright, so it's not quite as exciting as fishing, I guess, since you actively have to fish. But, again, I mean, it's something, it's interesting. It's not something I play for hours on end or anything. And, in fact, a lot of times I used to use it just for a good insomnia breaker. Just kind of let it sit in the background, whiz on during the night. There's a few particular tables you can actually get away with kind of just leaving your game on, and who knows, maybe you will come back with a lot of money. Well, I believe the game will actually kick you out of the locale at a certain time. Here I show off, like, again, you can buy those machines, and I was like, you know what, I'll buy one and see, just to show you what all goes on. You go back to your place. It goes from, 10 o'clock in the morning to immediately 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. And now we have unlocked number 11 in our giant collection. It's like, it seems like everybody in Japan has some sort of collection of some sort. Most of the time it's always anime and disturbing figurines, and I have a collection of just terrible slot that I didn't even want. The worst one that I could have picked. I'm kind of confused as to what all the options do, since apparently all of them actually go into the gaming field. But I'm not going to question it too much. That's not the important part. The important part is, well, maybe you should play Super Pachinko. But until next time, this is Untitled. Have a good one.